So this was the one, no divergence in the way. And when we hit that 50 EMA, that's where I was able to go to the 1 minute, find decent risk reward. I got the D1 trigger signal, and that's where I took my position. What was really good about this, and you guys will see on the P&L, I'll put it on the screen, my entry was 124.13, so basically exactly where I have this marked. What was good was the risk was only 7 pips to the bottom of this structure, because if it was going to keep coming lower, like you said, where the 8 and the 21 cross down, I would want to get out because it would break this structure point here and start to come lower. Yeah. That's where we'd want to get out. So the stop is honestly easy to identify. Don't you think so?
Yeah, definitely.
Whether it's the D1 or the A1?
Right.
The stop is pretty clear. So you know the risk point. Now, the problem I feel like a lot of people do is they'll move their stop loss once they take the trade. You'll like bump your stop and be like, I could just move it down to here. It'll be fine. And then it tags you out there. You know what I mean?
Or like if it starts going lower a little bit, they'll be like, let me just move it a little more.
Give it more space.
Right. Give it a little more room to breathe.
But that's not how structure works.
Yeah.
So you can see from when I took the position, pain-free all day on Wednesday. Now, the issue with this, we're going to turn on the average daily range indicator, was that ADR was only 56 pips. You can see that over here. So where does it move from the 50? Right up to ADR. And it sat there for a while. At that point, my stop loss was locked in profit. So I was just chilling. I was like, okay, I took some off at 2R, took some off at 3R. And then when it hit ADR, I took a little bit more off. Now at that point, I was up like 6R, 6-1. So it was a great trade.
Yeah.
So you'd think, maybe get out of the full trade, but I'm getting better at holding these positions because I know that they can carry.
Don't say that's not what I would think. I would think if there's no exit signal and you've already pieced out accordingly at 1, 2, and 3R, let the rest continue to run. You already moved your stop. Why get out fully if there's no true exit signal, you know?
Yeah, no, that's exactly why I do what I do. People see my P&L sometimes and they think like, oh, you took a bunch of positions, but it's not. If you look at it, it's one position with multiple exits. So if you look just in that first day, it moves 50 pips, 49 pips, so about 5.5 R. Make sense? Mm-hmm. So I'm able to get some at 6R, get a little bit more. Well, this is actually bigger. Hold on. This should be 7. That's 6.9. Hold on. 7. Yeah, so you can see here, 5R, and then 6R in the first day. That's what we got. Now, overnight, my stop was just locked. It held the 50, and when I woke up the next morning, we were breaking for new highs. So why close any of the trade? Just keep moving the stop up. Then I moved my stop up to this structure point when it hit the 50 EMA here, the low of day yesterday. Never came back to the low of day. So overnight last night, I didn't do anything with it. You can see this divergence now building in from the overbought RSI here to the RSI high today at the price action high right outside the Asian session. So when that sets up, a lot of people were saying like, oh, you should consider closing the trade now, Austin, you consider closing the trade. But what do you see about it that would tell you not to do that? Do you know what I see?
That it broke through?
Where?
The divergence? Well, I guess that would have been after you woke up.
Correct. So I woke up and I'm like down here and they're like, yo, you might want to get out of the trade. It might be coming down to the 200 because they see the divergence. They see the 50 EMA break. They know it can retest the 50 and come down. But what do you see that keeps you long biased, do you think?
The liquid 50 is still in the buy zone.
Still. Just peaks into the sell zone right here, but it's in the buy zone majority of the day today. And look, literally from Wednesday, this yellow market sentiment line, since I got in the trade back here, where has it been?
In the buy zone.
In the buy zone.
And not only that, but like I feel like you would expect it to have a little bit of a pullback, especially seeing overnight how it kind of was just flat. Mm-hmm. You know, like it's not just going to continue to go up forever.
Of course. So, but you're right. But that's why I like EMAs.
Right.
Because I think they give you good levels of like, oh, it might come back to here. Right. So when it hit the 50 and got under the 50, I knew it could come back to the 200, but I didn't see it coming all the way back down to my entry price. You know what I mean? So at the 50, it's a tough call. A lot of people will get short biased here since it's under the 50, but I will continue to ride the trend. I would rather miss a short trade and, you know what I mean, just not go short than, or and in that sense, not go long as well, while I'm just waiting for a good long trade following that trend.
So where was your stop this morning when you woke up?
When I woke up this morning, I'll tell you where it is right now. Oh, when I woke up it's higher now. I have it. So today, when it broke out past that high set yesterday, 1, 2, 3 hits. As soon as it broke past that, I moved my stop to right here. So now if it comes back down here before 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, I'll get out here. But it still looks like it wants to go higher. It's still holding the 8 EMA right now.
Still in the buy zone.
Where I had my stop, yeah, exactly, last night, just basic structure. Like I'm not that complicated right here. As it broke out past the previous day high, like I just had it right here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I know it can come back to those structure points, but this is what I was looking at. So I have a couple of videos you probably heard me making them, about my 2 candle rule for my zones. You see when that comes back to the 21 EMA, the 2 bars to the right and the 2 bars to the left of this pin are not lower. That shows me that that's a strong zone. What does it do today?
Respects it.
Bounces right off of it.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think that like this is where it slowed down for the first time yesterday after the acceleration, after the momentum. So where would you expect it to pull back to? That first place it slowed down. That just makes logical sense.
Right.
You know? So it's been a really good trade. And I feel like making these recaps for everybody will show them that I'm not looking for 13 different moves every week. I'm looking to just find a trend and work that trend to the point where if you follow me and you're in the VIP chat and you were up yesterday morning during the agent session, like Lindsay and some of the people, they were looking for longs in here. Of course, the TDI and everything is long buys, but they're just following my original trade from the day before. So you can keep riding that trend.
Yeah.
If there was an opportunity here during the New York session, I would have been considering it for another buy yesterday. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's find that trend and rock that trend. Does that make sense?